Mr. Manas, if I go through the memorandum of the Meiti organizations, they are saying that the constitutional protection of Meitis is required. They are saying that Meiti and Meiti Pangal people should have constitutional protection. Then they are also saying that the Meiti should not be disarmed. My question to you is it correct to say that the Meitis were armed? If they are saying that the Meiti should not be disarmed, then who armed them?
Now you see, Metis are already, they have alleged that the arms and ammunition are coming through Myanmar from China to the Nagaland people, and they are supplying to the cookies. So now that's what they wanted to have arms in their hand. If you want to disarm us, then the cookies will attack us. And actually, in the last riot, cookies have attacked them. The Metis have been killed. Metis have suffered a lot. Those they are staying in the plain land. Now they are claiming that the deforestation and infiltration from Myanmar should be stopped immediately. And Nagaland is claiming some areas. They are trying to merge those areas into Greater Nagaland from Manipur. That is also a cause of resentment between the Nagaland and Manipur people also. So Metis are now the majority people in the state. Now they have started agitation that if you can't disarm the hilly people, then we will not be disarmed. We should take up arms still now. We'll keep the arms in our hand. That is the reason.
That is the reason. But Brijesh, if we talk about these demands, most of the demands are coming on ethnic lines. There has not been one point in my last 40 days of the coverage and the shows I have done with you, or the shows you have done, has there been a common demand by all the communities? This is one thing I have seen has been absent.
No, there is no common demand, and that is why, yesterday I said, when Rami made that statement, and I completely concurred with her, that, you talk to someone or you hear someone for like 1 minute and you'll know whether he's a Kuki or Meiti. And people may talk of, that civil societies may come in, Meiti Muslims may come forward, Nagas may come forward and, try to exercise their good offices in order to bridge the gap or, to ensure that there is trust deficit. But going by the way situation has polarized between the Kuki and the Meitis, it looks very hard. It will be going to be a very tough task at the hand of the government to ensure that the situation returns back to normalcy, and I think that is going to be the biggest challenge as far as the government is concerned, because law and order is, until unless you can control law and order, but you cannot ensure that the law and order will remain normal or will remain under control for a long period of time, because for that to happen you have to have a certain degree of trust, building of trust between the two communities. And unfortunately, I completely agree with you. In the last 40 days, there have been absolute two set of demands, and there is no budging on those demands even an inch as far as this thing is concerned. They are saying that it is the cookies or the armed infiltrators or the illegal migrants or the crackdown on poppy cultivation which is leading to this scenario. And they say that why are you always talking about illegal migrants or armed infiltrators? Why are you not talking about Arambai, Tangol and other Meiti outfits? So there is a massive distrust between the two sides, and until and unless the government ensures that there is some political outreach to these two tribal communities, I doubt if lasting peace can be restored in any time soon.
Dr. Gwita, is Arambai, Tangol and Meiti Lupin an issue? Does it continue to be an issue? Meiti Lupin and Arambai, Tangol?
They are cultural organizations, and since I haven't gone into deep in terms of their philosophy and their beliefs of what is the cultural organization, what is their vision, if their visions of Manipur is something where you have only the Meitis, then it's a problem. Because as a state, it has been always as diverse as India. We can call it Manipur as a mini India. You have the Muslims, the Hindus, the Christians in terms of the religion, these things. And in terms of the cultural diversity, you have everyone staying in there. But if you propagate only on like one nation, one religion, so then it's a problem, right? So that's how they have been throughout this, since the outbreak of the violence. They are the one who have been spreading violence all over and attacking the tribal people.
you know, you are saying they're attacking the tribal people, but there is also another thing. A lot of Meiteis feel that there are lot of infiltration from Myanmar.
Armed infiltration.
Armed infiltration from Myanmar, and they get protection in hill areas. Is this a stereotype, madam, or is it correct?
There may be some truth to that in terms of like infiltration when it comes to poppy cultivations, you know, when it comes to the drug menace. But my question is, if we see this drug menace, you know, it should not be, are we seeing it as only the problem which is created by this infiltration which is happening, infiltrations of the Kuki group from Myanmar to Manipur? Or the question is that these cross-border narcotic trades, if it exists, shouldn't it be properly monitored and patrolled by the enforcement agencies? Why are we passing on their failures over to a community who are poor, who have no other options, no alternative livelihood? So, you know, this, the issue of drug menace and poppy cultivation, when we see into this violence and when we try to locate within this violence, it is also important for us here to look into that the problem is not only about the supplier side, you know, the internal issue within the border state in India, but what about the buyer side, which we are not talking about, the international issue, like let's say with China. So I assume the central government uses this situation to negotiate or business with China via Myanmar. So the crucial question is, whose local voice are they going to use? So, you know, my point is, let's not victimize the plantation workers, the farmers. If you are victimizing, and I think it's the responsibility of the state to provide alternative livelihood. And this migration narrative should not be spread without proper evidence. And those who are responsible for this violence, either it be the Arambai Tengol or Meiti Lipun, they should be accountable, punished, and then through proper court of law with evidence. There are groups or the other, both the blame game continues, right? Who is doing what violence? But at the end of the day, I think what will come out is with the proper intervention of the state and the enforcement agency from the center, looking into the taking a due process